I think, I mean, inevitably, the problems of the eurozone have not been solved by the provision of this emergency funding. The issues that are still there are, how do these countries, which have lost between 20 and 30% competitiveness since the euro came into being, which is most of the peripheral countries. I mean, some of them, like Ireland, are starting to get it back a bit. And if I was betting on, which countries would be still in the euro in 5 years' time, I mean, I'd have serious doubts about Greece and Portugal, but I think Ireland will probably still be in there. So those fundamental problems remain. I mean, there is still a huge question about whether the austerity being imposed on Greece can work. Greek elections coming up, the outcome and the willingness of the politicians to stick with it will be in doubt then, and we could be back into difficulty over that, and back into the kind of position we were in relatively recently, with part of the rescue money being held back and so on, and again a deadlock. So it hasn't gone away, but in terms of where we were just a few months ago under the previous European Central Bank President Jean-Claude Trichet, there seemed to be no possibility of any movement. That the eurozone issue was an issue for the politicians to sort out. The European Central Bank had gone as far as it could do. We can't do anything else. And in particular, it couldn't intervene in those bond markets by buying Italian and Spanish bonds and so on. So I think, under the new president Mario Draghi, they very cleverly sidestepped that by he realised that quite early on that if all your assistance was directed towards the banks, and if those banks then used some of that to buy government bonds, then you weren't directly helping governments, but you were helping the situation quite substantially. So I think in terms of what a central bank can do to give time to for the politicians to do more, I think it was what they did was pretty close to brilliant. I mean, they where we were before, which was in a very dangerous situation in the eurozone. At least that has eased. My fear is that the breathing space is not being terribly well used. We're not hearing a lot. Obviously Sarkozy has got an election to fight and other issues. And when it comes back, the worry is that nothing will have been done, in this breathing space. So it is kicking the can down the road, but it's a pretty effective kick, I think, and a pretty powerful kick.